We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Hello friends, I welcome you in my third lecture of group theory. In the first 2 lectures, we have discussed about binary operation and its properties. Today we will learn some new definitions and then we will understand what is meaning of algebraic structure. So before we study new definitions, we just recall what are the different properties of binary operations. So we have discussed that binary operation is commutative if A star B equal to B star A for every pair of elements AB in given set. Similarly, we know that binary operation is associative if A star in the bracket B star C equal to in the bracket A star B star C. In this lecture, we are going to start with 2 more definitions, semigroup and monoid. First we will discuss what is semigroup. So whenever we have some binary operation defined on a given non-empty set, then the set along with that binary operation is known as algebraic system. If star is a binary operation on some non-empty set S, then the non-empty set S along with this operation is called algebraic system or algebraic structure. You may have more than one binary operations on the given non-empty set, and you can have more than 2 also. Okay, so the given non-empty set along with finite number of binary operations is known as algebraic system. Now if this binary operation satisfies certain properties, then depending upon the satisfaction of those properties, we have different definitions of different algebraic systems. So first one is semigroup. Semigroup is which type of algebraic system? So or when given algebraic system is known as semigroup. So S with binary operation star is called semigroup if the binary operation is associative, and we have discussed in the last lecture when the binary operation is associative. So for a given system, algebraic system, to be a semigroup, you must have your binary operation associative. So if you are given one non-empty set and one binary operation on that set, then to show that given set is semigroup, it is enough to show that binary operation is associative. And we know how to prove associative property. Okay, if you can show this for any xyz in S, then the operation is associative. So if we have given non-empty set and if we want to show that S is a semigroup under operation star, then you have to show that star is a binary operation and binary operation star is associative. Okay, so first property you have to show is star is a binary operation on S. We know that star is a binary operation if x star y is a member of S for any xy belongs to S, and star is associative. So it is simple to show that semigroup algebraic system is a semigroup. Next definition is monoid. So monoid is another type of algebraic system with one more property. In semigroup we require associative property along with binary operation property. Okay. In monoid we have one more property. Suppose I denote non-empty set by M, then M with binary operation star is called a monoid if star is associative, and one more property required is operation star has an identity element in capital M. We had discussed in the last lecture what is meaning of identity element. Identity means you always have unique element in the given set denoted by small e, such that e star x equal to x star e equal to x for every member of capital M. If this property is satisfied, then E is called identity element with respect to the binary operation star. So for monoid we must have three properties. If we have given some operation on this set M, then to show that M is a monoid we have to prove three properties. First one is that operation is binary operation, that is for any xy in M, x star y must be in M. Second property is you have to show that binary operation is associative, and the third property required is existence of identity element. If these three properties are satisfied, then M with given operation is called monoid. So for monoid we require one extra property. In semigroup we require associative property, and if we have one more property, that is identity, then monoid is a semigroup with identity. Example, we can prove that set of natural number is a semigroup with respect to the addition operation, but it is not a monoid. So if I want to show that n with addition is a semigroup, I have to show that addition operation is binary operation on the set of natural numbers that we know. For any two natural numbers x and y, x plus y is always a member of set of natural numbers. This shows that addition is a binary operation on the set of natural numbers. Next we have to show associative property. We know that natural numbers are associative. This is true for any three natural numbers. X plus y plus z is always equal to x plus y plus z. So addition operation is associative. Therefore n with addition is a semigroup. Now if we want to show that n is a monoid, then we go in reverse way. First we assume that suppose n is a monoid, then there exists an identity element in n with respect to addition operation. Okay, so we go in reverse way. First we assume that n has identity, then if our assumption is wrong we will have some contradiction. So let E be the identity of set of natural numbers with respect to addition operation. Then by the definition of identity we must have E plus x equal to x and x plus e equal to x for all natural numbers x. Now when this is possible, as we discussed in the last lecture, this is possible only if e equal to 0, but 0 is not in the set of natural numbers. That means our assumption is wrong and n has no identity with respect to addition. So this is mistake. N is not a monoid with respect to addition operation. What if I replace set of natural numbers by a set of integers? Whether it will become monoid or not. Okay, so if we consider set of integers, then e equal to 0 will be in the set of integers. Therefore z with addition operation is a monoid. Now we change the operation on the set of natural numbers. Set of natural numbers is not a monoid under addition, but we can show that it is a monoid under the multiplication operation. This is another way of writing the same statement. Algebraic system n with multiplication operation is a monoid. Okay, so we first show that multiplication is a binary operation. We know that multiplication of any two natural numbers is again a natural number. This means for any xy in n, x into y is always in n. Therefore multiplication is a binary operation on the set of natural numbers. Associative property is obvious. This is obvious. Multiplication operation is always associative with respect to natural numbers. Now we check for identity with respect to multiplication operation. So we go in this way. We assume that E is the identity of set of natural numbers with respect to multiplication. Then by definition E into x must be equal to x into E equal to x for all natural numbers n. So when this is true if E equal to 1. We know that 1 into x equal to x into 1 equal to x for all x belongs to n. So 1 is the identity of set of natural numbers with respect to multiplication operation. Okay, not that we did not have identity in n with respect to addition operation, but if we change the operation, then the same set becomes a monoid. So set of natural numbers is a monoid with respect to multiplication. Is this set semigroup? The answer is yes. Every monoid is a semigroup. Next example, let capital S be a non-empty set and rho S is its power set. We had seen in the previous lecture that intersection is a binary operation on the power set of any non-empty set. So we can talk about this algebraic system, power set of S with intersection. This is meaning of power set of S. It is the set of all subsets of S. Now to show that this is a monoid, first we show that intersection is a binary operation. So intersection is a binary operation. If I consider any two members of this set, then their intersection must be in this set. Okay, so if A and B are in power set of S, whether A intersection B is always in power set of S. So for that I have to show that A intersection B is a subset of S if A and B are subsets of S. Okay, that is easy, obvious. A and B are in power set of S. That means A and B are subsets of S. We know that A intersection B is a subset of A always, and A is subset of S. Therefore A intersection B is a subset of S. That means A intersection B is a member of power set of S. Therefore we have shown that for any two members of power set, their intersection is again a member of power set. This means the intersection operation is a binary operation on the power set of S. Next property is associative property. We know that intersection operation is always associative on the power set. Okay, so it is clear. What about identity element in this set with respect to intersection operation? Okay, so we go in reverse way. Suppose capital E is the identity of this set. Now by the definition of identity, we must have intersection of E with every set equal to that set back for any member of power set of S, A intersection E equal to E intersection A must be equal to A. So when this is possible? It is possible only if we consider E equal to whole set capital S. This is not possible for any other set. Okay. If we consider any set A in power set of S, then that set is always a subset of capital S. So A intersection S is going to be A. Okay. If I consider E equal to capital S here, then A intersection S is always equal to A because A is a subset of S. So for any A in power set of S, identity is the main set capital S. So capital S is the identity element in power set of S with respect to intersection operation. So all the three properties are satisfied. Therefore power set of S is a monoid with respect to intersection operation. Okay, this you can check. Instead of intersection operation, if you consider union operation, then also it becomes a monoid. Please check. Next example, let capital E denote the set of even positive integers. Then we have to check whether this set is semigroup or monoid with respect to addition and multiplication operations. So E is the set of even positive integers. That means we can denote the elements of E by multiples of 2, and because it is the set of even positive integers, I am considering M belongs to set of natural numbers, so that we have only even positive integers. We don't have to include 0 and negative integers. So to show that this set, or to check whether it is a semigroup or monoid, first we check for addition operation. So we have to first determine whether addition is a binary operation on capital E or not. So we start by taking two elements in capital E and we check whether their addition is again a member of E or not. So I consider two elements X and Y in capital E. That means X and Y are even positive integers. So we can express X and Y as a multiple of 2. X and Y are members of E. Therefore I can write X equal to 2 into some natural numbers, Y equal to 2 into some natural number. For some M1, M2 belongs to N. Then X plus Y is, after simplifying you can see I can take 2 common, so M1 plus M2. Now M1 and M2 are natural numbers, so M1 plus M2 is again a natural number that we denote by small m. So this means X plus Y is also a multiple of M, where M is natural number. That means X plus Y is even positive integer. Therefore X plus Y is a member of capital E. This means addition is a binary operation on the set of even positive integers. Associative property is clear. We know that addition operation on the set of integers is always associative, and set of even positive integers is a subset of set of integers. Okay, so this property is satisfied automatically. So star is associative as well as star is a binary operation. That means E with addition is a semigroup. Now what about identity with respect to addition in capital E? Okay, so we again assume that suppose E is the identity of E, then by definition E plus X will be equal to X, as well as X plus E equal to X. As we discussed earlier, this is possible only if X equal to 0. But 0 is not even positive integer, 0 is not a member of E. That means E with addition has no identity. That means E with addition is not a monoid. Similarly, you can check for multiplication operation. You can check that E with multiplication is a semi-group, but it is not a monoid. Here also, instead of addition, you have to put multiplication. X into y will be equal to 2 into m1 into 2 into m2. That is going to be 2 into m1 into 2 m2. Okay, so multiplication of even positive integers is again even positive integer. Okay, similarly, you can check for the identity. What will be the identity with respect to multiplication operation? It is going to be 1, but 1 is not a member of E because 1 is not positive integer, so it will not be a monoid with respect to multiplication operation. So this is about semi-group and monoid. In the next lecture we will discuss, or we will start the concept of group. We will define group and we will discuss the examples related to group with properties of groups. Okay, hope you like this lecture. Thank you very much.